followed by closing temperatures. So again, the period that you pick to examine can be misrepresented.
And I think you had mentioned that at one point earlier, before some of the global warming worries, there was a worry about global cooling.
Oh, right.
Like we're going to have a second ice age or something like that. But when that fell through, I guess they switched to global warming and now to climate change.
Well, another study on global warming was the study that was published by Michael Mann in 1998. It's been dubbed the hockey stick because during the period of time that he examined, he found towards the end there was a sharp increase in average global temperatures. But this one was almost immediately criticized by two Canadian scientists, Steve McIntyre and Ross McKittrick, and they concluded that his graph was compromised some data, and that really undermined his conclusions. And later, the National Association of Science, Dr. Wegman, in 2006, examined both Mann and McKittrick and McIntyre's studies and found that McIntyre and McKittrick were correct, and the hockey stick was the product of flawed methodology. So the point being that the global warming, even the global warming conclusions are suspect. So it is because of this that the climate change movement basically began to abandon the global warming, label, and began to call things climate change. Now, the climate change move, that really was a brilliant move because let me ask you, do you believe in climate change?
I think we have weather changes, but I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's caused by the degree that they claim. And I think you're right. It's probably because it wasn't their view or what they were trying to sell wasn't panning out. They see a few bad hurricane seasons, and then they take that and use that to claim it's climate change.
So, but even the term climate change, it's so broad and vague. Yeah, I believe in climate change, but climate change has come to mean that humans are causing climate change that will destroy the earth if we don't do something. So that's what I dispute that, but I don't dispute that there's been climate change.
I think most reasonable people realize that we're going to have changes, but should we take the drastic actions that they are suggesting at the expense, particularly when we're only one part of the planet, and many of the biggest abusers are making no changes whatsoever.
Yeah, we're going to get to the economic consequences in a couple of podcasts down the road, but let me just say one other thing with regard to global warming. Although there has been this minor average globing, I would point out that really it's imperceptible to the degree when you consider it an average of 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit. It's just crazy. The temperature goes up and down 20 or 30 degrees every day, and also between basically 2000 and 2010, the scientists have found that the warming, average warming, was flat. There was no average warming that was continuing, and because of that, they had to drop the term.
Well, I think we're going to see some extreme global cooling tonight, as a matter of fact, because the temperature is supposed to get much cooler tomorrow.
All right. Well, that wraps up our discussion today. Next program, we're going to get into CO2, which is a really big factor, and we appreciate you joining with us. The liberties we enjoy in America can be maintained only by its citizens being moral and informed and being participants in the democratic processes. The closing argument can help us to do this. I invite you to visit my website to get a copy of my book, The Climate Change Hoax Argument. My website is www.cpaulsmith.com. This is Paul Smith. See you next time.